Hi and welcome back to my zodiac series. Today we're doing Aries because it is the start of Aries season, and I like this house. I'm not a fan of the red, I'm gonna be honest, but if you put the red aside, maybe redecorated the red for a different colour, I do really like this house. The sort of industrial style is my sort of vibe. So for the overall style, because as you know by now probably, I use ChatGPT. I always say GBT, but I mean GPT, for my briefs and my prompts, because the internet confuses me with all the different stereotype information and everything says something different. So before we start, I'm building in eco lifestyle world. What's it called? Can't remember for the life of me. And I originally was building on where the community centre is, over on the docks, but I ended up moving it to where Bess's house normally is. I just felt like that worked a bit better. So yes, anyway, I wanted to back to my tangent, even though I'd said I was finished. I'm not, sorry. I wanted to originally build it in Strangerville, but because of the desert, and that orange sand, I love that orange sand, and I thought it would have been perfect for here, but alas, I couldn't find all of the lots for it sucked for this style of build, and it wasn't going to work, so I didn't do that. Anyway, tangent over, I promise, for now. The overall style is modern and bold, sleek, strong architecture with sharp angles and asymmetry. Loft or open concept, Aries don't like feeling confined. I'm not sure how well I did with that, especially in the kitchen, but I liked the vibe, so we kept that. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. Statement features like a large fireplace, a dramatic staircase, or eye-catching sculpture. Warm and red tones, deep reds, oranges, and bold accents throughout. Oh, I wasn't meant to keep that in there. Oh well. The exterior design, modern or industrial style, dark stone or concrete walls mixed with bold red or black paneling. Now, I went for sort of the bottom. My cats have zoomies. Which one is it? Kari. Kari has zoomies, so you're welcome, I guess. I went for a sort of the bottom brick structure was maybe an original building, and then all of this is shipping container or whatever that's just been added on top, repurposed materials, and I liked that vibe. Large windows. Aries love freedom, so big windows for an open feel. Now, we did get a lot of windows in here. An outdoor gym or training area. We didn't do that, but we do have an indoor gym with balcony access, so compromise. And then a barbecue pit, a fire pit or a barbecue area. A cozy fiery space, a cozy but fiery space for Aries' social side. And we did do that as well. So my floor planning is all over the place because I really struggled to figure out the floor plan. So I'm just gonna vaguely bring things up when they happen. But this has one bedroom, but it has the potential for 4 bedrooms if you changed the other rooms that are being used for other things into main bedrooms. Or even if you reorganize the upstairs, you could probably it's just one main suite upstairs that you could probably repurpose if you really wanted to. Yeah, I'm really struggling. I'm just this is all very thin and narrow. I don't know what I'm doing in terms of stairwell, and I wanted it to make sense. I also had no idea where I was putting the front door, and it just, I don't know, it didn't make a lot of sense in the beginning, and I think I get there with it. It was just a lot of like in the beginning, which is, I feel like that's most build. I think that's fair to say that's most build. It was just a lot of until you get it, and then it clicks. I really liked what I did with this main door. I haven't done it yet. I think I'm in the process of figuring it out. But with like the conjoining archway, that archway does move, but I did like that. And I'm just throwing wallpapers in to get like a bit of cohesion, and then the massive lights so I don't forget to change them, which is an idea that I stole off of James Turner. So thank you. And then I'm trying to figure out windows. I feel like I'm using these greenhouse windows like everywhere at the moment, but they are just such good industrial style windows with like that paneling in it. Not paneling, is it paneling? No, it can't be paneling. The cross hatch, you know what I mean. And then yeah, I ended up changing out the bottom windows. Like I didn't like the round shape with the square everything else, so I just changed it out. And then yeah, I ended up warming it up on the inside as well, because it's still on the outside at the moment. So we also end up moving the whole lot back to allow garden space. This was just a lot of fucking around in terms of me figuring out what I was doing. So the living room layout, which we technically haven't got to yet, I don't think, but I want to read something, is a large fireplace with a focal point, bold modern furniture with red and black accents, and a gaming area, foosball, arcade or chess for strategic Aries. The gaming area is not downstairs, it is upstairs in that little red offshoot we were building, which is why I wanted to read that. But I liked it because it has like its own main balcony access, and I thought that was a bit of fun because we could get more things up there. Yeah, that's what I meant with that archway. It's just I really like that open concept. And like maybe the doors go all the way down, but even if they don't, it's a hallway going into a stairwell. I think it's okay for it to be open. And then I really struggled with rugs because we really don't have that many that suit this style. I really love this dark brown. I wanted to go for like a dark warm wood, like sort of like fire crackling or like burnt charcoal kind of vibes, and there's like black throughout that wood, so yeah, it just reminded me of the colour of like burning or burnt wood. So technically the fireplace is not the main focal point, but it is a focal point. And then yeah, I wanted these lush curtains, and I spent a lot of the time thinking like Delicacy would hate this because I know that she's an Aries, but she's very like, she does like the eco vibes, to be fair, but she likes white and white. She does like other colours, like I think she's into like green and pinks at the time of recording, at least as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's just like this whole black and red harsh vibe, and like, she would hate this. Probably. I don't know her personally, but it's just the vibe I get from her. But she, alas, is the only Aries that I know of these days. I have parted ways with the other Aries in my life. Yeah, and I really wanted a TV up here, but I was like, it's just so tall with the fireplace, and I didn't like it. So we ended up moving the fireplace. I did try and change it out, and that wasn't working either. So we do just straight up move it over the other side of the room where I originally put it, and go for more of a TV moment over here. Yeah. And then I wanted some sort of divider, because like this is a very big space. You'd need to like section it off and like zone it a bit more, but I still wanted space to be able to get in and out with like how narrow that walkway was. And I had just bought Snowy Escape at this point, so there's like a lot of Snowy Escape in here because dopamine of using new stuff. Yay. Yeah, my boyfriend Fredo got me some flats for my birthday, and I was like, yay. And I used these because I bought Batu because I really want to do like an SCP bunker or a Lethal Company factory or something. So I was like, oh, the metal pieces in like Batu would be perfect for that. So I got Batu as well. Not really into Star Wars, but you know, decor. And yeah, I just like put a bunch of things in here. We do end up swapping those out. We had them somewhere else, but we ended up swapping them out. And I wanted a bit more privacy or whatever along there, so I added the like the folding dividers as well. And yeah, while I loved the industrial vibe that those crates brought in, I thought it was a bit much for like this more sort of soft luxe. But it's not really luxe, but the softer, more put together living space, I guess. So I do like smarten it up a bit. I don't think I have a brief. No. I guess. Bonus Aries touches: fast cars on motorcycles in the driveway. Can't do that in Sims, unfortunately. Or pet-friendly features: Aries love animals, especially I can't speak today. Especially energetic ones. So we do have like space for cats and dogs. I catered for both, and we have several like pet beds scattered around the place. And then a secret hobby space, music, painting, or even a Fight Club style training room. I thought that was cute. So we do have an indoor gym, as I said before, and then just like round this fireplace, I still wanted it to be like a focal moment. So it's like as soon as you walk in, and then it's got like the little bookcases. We do end up moving that shelf and replacing it with some artwork, but I really wanted, yeah, just something focal and intimate, I guess. And then it's just something smaller for that side, and then you can go round and yeah, just have the living space on the other side of the room. And then we just got like those little ottomans in with some more book storage. It's just somewhere to sit and look out the window, I guess. And then board games like chess. I think it's not usable, unfortunately, but so now we're moving through into the kitchen. Like, how cute would that have been if you could just like place that chess table on like any dining table and it would work? But especially with like tiny living, yeah, that would have been cool. Oh well. The things we are robbed of. So it's an open plan kitchen with bar counter, Aries like quick meals on the go, bold colours like red, orange or black cabinets, and a coffee station for Aries high energy lifestyle. This is technically not open plan. I mean, there's no technically about it, it's just straight up not open plan. But I had this really cool idea with the whole industrial vibes, and I wanted to do that. So that is what we did. I don't have these good ideas very often, and I wanted to show it off, I guess. But I wanted some like more light, so I'm really playing around. I can't speak. Really playing around with like internal windows and stuff like that. And I tried like a whole bunch of things here, and it just wasn't working. Also, why I tried it is because I wanted to have like the bench top going into the island, and it just looks so weird. So I wanted that wall, but I still wanted it to like feel open plan. So I put in like the big windows and like the massive archway with the is it girders? Are they called girders? I don't know. And we do make the kitchen a tad bit bigger later on. And then we had like the coffee tea station, which I wanted on its own because one, it was in the brief, and two, I felt like it would be cool. And then I think I just end up putting normal cabinets up, and then we put the bar seating on the other side of this wall. So it's like technically open plan, technically not. And we do shorten it down to 3 because it was clipping weirdly into the door and I didn't like that. I'd had a whole bunch of things, but it didn't work. So I just shortened it down to 3 and left it at that. Put plant there. If you're ever not sure about what to do with the space, plants work. Plants weren't really in the brief necessarily, but I feel like plants are sort of like a more eco thing to have, so I did that. And then I really wanted the bigger dining table. That didn't work out, so we end up making it a smaller, sort of more industrial table. Yeah, that one. And then I really like these red Batu chairs. And then we have space for some pet stuff in the back of the dining room, which we're putting in now. Just like a little feeder, and then I think we get cat tree and some dog toys or pet toys as well. I thought it would be really cute if they could just like sit there and look out the window. Oh, I just touched my microphone. I hope you didn't hear that. I'm sorry if you did. Like a little flower thing on the table, and then yeah, I'm just putting the dog toys in now. And then we should be moving upstairs, I think. Maybe? No, maybe. Oh, maybe we'll be doing this internal area. I could not make it work, so I ended up shortening it down, which then meant I could make the kitchen a little bit bigger. Yeah, we just put in like a really small laundry in here, and then just call it a day, basically. We have these curtains on like the bigger windows, and then we do blinds on smaller windows. And yeah, I don't particularly know why. I guess it just like looked less busy. And then I really like this big storage chest thing. I know it's technically a bedside table, but I see it and I'm like, oh yes, that would like flip open, and then you could like fill it with towels or I don't know, whatever you needed it to be. But yeah, blankets. So I imagine it's good for blankets as well. Yeah, and then I shuffled this bathroom around a lot. I can't figure it out. And I think I ended up changing it again and adding in a load tray. Because like if we've got animals, they need to be catered for as well. And then I can't remember if I kept that indefinitely, but I did keep a lot of the external walls like a painted or like a half plastered brick sort of thing. Yeah, and here we are with those pictures. I really like them because they brought in like a lot of the reds and sort of more sort of creams, yellow, not so much yellow, but a lot of those more sort of desert tones. And I know we're not technically there's no technically about it. We're just straight up not in the desert. But yeah, and then with that, I liked the idea of having like this whole huge built-in moment, and then there's a mirror in the wardrobe side. So I was like, what if we just kept the mirror going all the way along? Be kind of cool. Yeah, so then this is our gym space. We have a yoga space outside in case they want to just like sit down, unwind, whatever. And then we have like weights and a treadmill and punch bag and stuff in here. And I think that worked out quite well. I also put like that big squidgy training mat thing under the punch bag. And we have drinks bottles and all this sort of stuff around. And hi Umbra, please don't get in the way, baby. Hi, yeah, come this side so you're not near the laptop. There we go. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Good girl. You know I'm supposed to be talking about this, not talking to you, right? Yeah. I really love those industrial lights. I think they're from Strangerville, aren't they? Umbra, sit down. Good girl. Oh, and then it said, I can't remember where in the brief, but it said somewhere about like motivational posters, and I was like, oh yeah, could you imagine like in the gym and you've just got this kitten feeling like, hang on in there, as you're like struggling to do your 10th rep or whatever, and I'm just like, yes, kitten, I can do this. I don't know, that was really weird, but yeah, that was where I was going with it. And then you can't have a gym without a wall of mirrors. It's not gonna happen. I don't know what it is, but it's just like I have to do it. And then I put like the brick on all the levels, and then I was like, why have I done that? There's only brick on the bottom level. And then I wanted to get some more like red around the place, because like this is just very gothic, and even with the red it is still very gothic, I guess. But I was like, this is supposed to be an Aries home, I need to get more like reds and stuff in here. And I did originally try to go for that sort of coppery metal sheet thing, and I couldn't get it to work, unfortunately. That made me sad. Yeah, that floor is the squidgy one, is what I was talking about. And then in here we have an office. We put a mini fridge in the office, because I was like, well, if Aries like quick meals and always raring to go and everything, then why not have a mini fridge full of like snacks or whatever, and then have a coffee machine on top. My mum used to have like a home office in the garden, and instead of like traipsing into the kitchen every 5 minutes to make a cup of tea, she had a whole like kettle drink station out in her office. And I think she might have had a mini fridge for some milk as well, but I honestly cannot remember. It would make sense if she did, because otherwise she'd have to go traipsing out of the house for milk. Not the point. I really like this like sort of recessed seating area there, because like it was a very deep space and I didn't really know what to do with it, but I feel like the seating area made the most sense. Also, that life and death rug is like carrying me through this build, with like rug choices. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think I end up keeping that tiny living sofa. No, I don't. But it just felt a bit tall, and then it was like a whole thing. And yeah, adding in the coffee machine and everything. If I can get something in red, I'm trying to get it in red, you know. But the office was basically a gaming PC setup or workspace if you're into content creation or streaming, and then martial arts or motivational posters, which is why we included those in like the gym. So the first floor is like main living space. The second floor is like, no, I'm British, can I speak British please? The ground floor is like main living space. The first floor is like gaming, office, gym, sort of more creative space, and then the top floor is bedroom, relaxing space. It's kind of how I zoned it. I don't think we had a brief for the gaming room, because I ended up like scrolling through my brief like, it said a gaming room, where's the gaming room, I can't find it. But it briefly mentioned it like right at the beginning. So I really like this gaming space. We ended up getting like a huge TV and like a sofa, and then we had the foosball table in here, and then like the smaller game table. We do end up changing out which one we're using, and we also reduce the chairs so it fit the space better. And then the Batu crates get used in here instead. Yeah, and then we move all the game consoles and stereo and everything up here. And then on the outside we have the bubble blowing machine, and we have the no, not the foosball table, the table tennis, ping pong, whatever table. And then I added like a load of board games in, and also a stack of books, because I was like, oh, they could play like loads of board games and maybe have like D&D night. And then I just imagine like D&D with like a load of books for some reason. I've never really played it. Like, I'm interested in playing it, but social anxiety, so you know. And then I really like these fold up chairs. So we have 4, so you could drag it over and like rearrange things if you wanted 4 Sims, but yeah, it wasn't fitting in the space that we had, and so I just shoved it over in the corner where we had a bit of dead space, you know. And then I just finessed everything around those curtains as well. I was being really fussy with curtain placements as well through a lot of this build. And then I couldn't make the chairs work on the bubble player, and apparently it's because it needs like armchairs, not dining chairs, which I guess makes sense. And I'm not a fan of those chairs, but I can't remember if I changed them. When I was editing yesterday, I was like, what the hell have I done? But yeah, I guess we keep them because I can't remember. But yeah, I just get like a load of these like little industrial lights out, and you get one of the concrete benches out. That was a long pause. Oops. I tried to edit the pauses out, Well, I don't always catch all of them, but yeah, I got the concrete bench out with like a little space heater. And then I get solar panels on the roof as well, because that's good for eco sort of like vibes. And then those pillars never come with me. Well, I guess because they're not technically not attached to the house, but it's really frustrating having to like move the house and then move the pillars and then the whole thing. And then we added the back door, and I lined it up, like the middle of the door, I lined it up with that window, which then meant that we had to reduce the coffee station back down to what it was, but that wasn't such a bad thing. I did struggle with like placements and stuff, but it's fine. And then we do have like this outdoor space, which I added up onto house level, and then we reduced some of it down later for like plant beds, stuff like that. Yeah, and then I think that's where I realised about the whole wood brick thing on every level, and I just go through and like change up the wallpapers and fiddle about with that bit. And then we're moving into the main bedroom, and you know, I had to have a red bed, but I had to figure out something that worked right. Let me find. So the bedroom, strong Mars energy, red bedding, modern furniture and statement lighting. Minimal clutter but trophies and bold decor. A walk-in closet, Aries love stylish functional outfits. So I did do the walk-in closet. And then I added sort of like the styling station as well, and I also used the city living wardrobe thing, chest of drawers, because I never use that. And then I do change the bedroom style a little bit, not by much, but we do a little bit differently. I ummed a nerd about putting a blind over the door for a minute, and I was like, nah, it's fine. Yeah, just finessing things because I'm fussy, you know that. And then we change out the bedside tables, and we also add in like a little sofa up there with a side table, and then I think put the hot chocolate tray on there, which, you know, I'm also known for my trays. Need a good tray. I don't think I can have a side table without a tray on it. Has not been done by me. And then I was like, oh well, we need some sort of seat or something, but I don't think we ended up sticking with that. I can't. Well, I think I put in a little like the little eco wood burner, and then some chair. Okay, I can't English. Some chairs in, but I don't know whether I kept the ottoman if I did that. Visually, to me, the spacing wouldn't work, but that doesn't mean I moved it. You know. No, I didn't. I did get rid of it. Good. Proud of past me for that one. Because I often, I'm editing or I'm doing these voiceovers and I'm like, what did I do that for? But yeah, past me makes questionable decisions. I'm sure future me does as well. But, you know, I'm not there yet to judge it. I put a coffee table in as well. I'm really not happy with that bed. I ended up swapping out for the love struck. Is that the love struck bed? I think that's the love struck bed. And then it had like this soft purple tone, which matched the colours in that picture perfectly. So I ended up like just changing things out just a little bit to get some more of those like bronze and purple tones in here, which I really liked. And then I put like that big mirror up there and also changed out the colour for that a little bit, so it matched those purple Jesus tones that we had coming through a bit more. And then just clutter. Love some clutter. And then we do end up changing out the mirror on the right as well. Something a bit more interesting. Yeah. And then we've got the bathroom. So the bathroom was a walk-in shower, Aries don't waste time soaking in baths, and dark tiles with fiery orange or red accents. So I did try to do that as well. And I had originally made that built-in shower, and then I was like, oh no, I've got the Snowy Escape glass divider thing now, so I'm going to use that. And then the red tiles in the game just suck, so I went for that sort of more muted, I think it's Love Struck again, tile, which I think worked well, and then the Batu floor tiles. I think they're Batu. I can't remember. It's a new pack. Well, it's not, but it is for me. And then yeah, just adding in curtains, which wouldn't clip because there was no floor there, and it was a whole thing. So I had to move stuff, but it worked in the end. And then I was swapping out some of the sinks because I wasn't happy with it. And I think in terms of brief, that's pretty much the house. Obviously we've got the outside space, which we're going to be going into in a minute. So let me try and find that. Oh yeah, I also really wanted like the whole eco bag coming through, so I added like the water purifier pump thing, also that little antenna, and then the non-functional water heater because I just wanted roof stuff, you know. And then I just added a whole bunch of stuff and then moved that blanket back into the gap. And I really like that sort of more intimate moment up there, even though it is like in the middle of all that industrial stuff. So I originally tried to raise up the planters, but that didn't work. So I sunk them down, and then added in like this whole like desert, arid sort of plant life, because I had originally wanted this in Strangerville and that didn't work, unfortunately. So I'm trying to find yeah, so it mentioned stuff like a climbing wall. I don't have fitness stuff, otherwise I would have included the climbing wall. And then a fire pit with seating. Aries love campfire energy. And I don't have the fire pit, but I do have that Snowy Escape fireplace now, and I thought that was a good compromise. And then it was like arid sort of plants, like drought tolerant resilient plants like cactuses or cacti and succulents, palm trees, that sort of stuff, which is also why I added in those plants. I thought they worked well, maybe not with the world, but if you look after them, then I'm sure it's fine. Like, people have palm trees in England and they make it work, so it's possible. And then it was like, add a water feature but make it Aries, and I was like, how am I supposed to do that? Like, instead of a calm pond, go for a fountain with fire element. And I was like, dude, this is The Sims. Like, I may be good, but I'm not that good. So I just went for like that sort of very sleek, modern water feature and just left it at that. Because it also said like a rock waterfall or a hot tub area for socialising, and I was like, I don't really want to add in like the whole hot tub vibe here. So I just kept it simple with like some loungers and that little water feature, and then the seating area around the fire. And we just had some coffee tables in, and I'm just checking the lighting. And I think normally when I change the lighting, I forget to change it back. So you're welcome. Oh no, I did change it back. And look at me go, remembering things. And yeah, that's pretty much the brief, and we'll probably be done in a second. So we're just going to ignore Bess in the background, but this is our sim this time for Aries, and let me put him up on the gallery. Okay, he's called Sugar Dad from France. Apparently he has over, is that 1 million? No, yeah, that is 1 million. Apparently he has over 1 million in his account, but he didn't when I placed him. I had to use free real estate, so I don't know why that's not working. But anyway, he's tagged as Aries, so I took him. I said I wanted more male representation, but we also haven't had an elder yet, so I thought that might be kind of nice. So his name is, my French is awful, I am so sorry, Arnaud Petit. He's an elder, he's fabulously wealthy, he wants to have a successful career, he's materialistic, a bro and a foodie. Now let's get into the tour. Okay, so this is the house, and let's go inside and give it a tour. So if we come inside the main door, why are we going so slowly? We have this storage area, sort of place to put coats, that sort of thing here. And then if we come inside, I'm not sure what's going on with the ceilings. They weren't that dark, but okay. We have this fireplace moment with the seating area. If we come around here, we have this nice industrial sort of light moment with the seating and some shelving. If we continue through this way, we have the nice dining room with the bar seating and this walkway into this nice kitchen. And then in this door we have a small laundry and a downstairs bathroom. And then if we just pop outside for a second, we have these planters with desert flowers, plants, nice sleeping area, not quite, lounging area with the water feature, and I can imagine you could hear that dam as well from over here. Fireplace, yeah, it's just a nice quiet, well, I'm not sure about quiet, but a nice private moment anyway. So if we come back around here and go up the stairs, we have this walkway, and then if we come in here, we have our games room with our table and our foosball and our TV and consoles and stuff. Out here we have a little balcony with a space heater if you want a bit more privacy, and then out this side we have table tennis and the bubble blower. Now if we come back inside and we go into this room, we have our indoor gym, and then out on this balcony we have our little yoga space. Coming back into the hallway, if we go through this door, we have the bathroom, just a walk-in shower and everything else that you'd need. And then in this room we have an office space. Nothing, yeah, it's an office. What do you want me to say about it? So if we go up again, we have this hallway, and if we pop out here, we have our little sort of more industrial house running equipment. And then if we come in here, we have our bedroom with our little seating area. Out here we have a more sort of tranquil zen, well, I'm not sure it's zen overlooking all of this, but you know what I mean, moment to just come out and sit. And then in here we have our dressing room, and then in here we have our big ensuite bathroom. Okay, so that's the house, and this is everything that we have time for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this sort of content, we will have a Sims build every single Friday. I take requests, and we are merging sort of over into new-ish content. So keep an eye out for things like that. So if you have any feedback or requests, that is always greatly appreciated. But if not, maybe like the video, subscribe. If you think you're already subscribed, maybe just check, because I know 90% of you aren't. And also, YouTube does YouTube things all the time, so it's better just to check. And with that, I will leave you to the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!